Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, as you know, and this is a series called I Want to Be a Better Coach. And it's I always find it fascinating to put each of these weeks together because I don't actually know quite often from one week to the next what's going to show up and what makes sense to share with you at this time. So let's just get started and see what shows up. So first thing I want to talk about is the I'll just tell the short story is I was talking to one of my life coaches who I supervise, and we were talking about why we talk. And she mentioned, excuse me, that um, there's an acronym WAIT, WAIT, and it stands for Why Am I Talking? So this is true for us personally in our own life and with our clients. It's like, what is it that has us talk? And what's the intention of our talking? Now, you've heard me talk a lot about listening and what am I listening for in my client or in the person I'm speaking to. It might be a patient, it might be my child, it might be my cousin, it might be my friend, it might be my dog. What am I listening for? And what am I listening from? And so it's the same thing with talking. It's like, my talking is with every client, and I learned this when I was a therapist, everything I say, every nod is an intervention. It is something that supports and empowers my clients or detracts and takes away from what's my client saying. So it's either empowering my client or disempowering my client. And it's just an interesting curious thing to look at. Is like, why am I talking? Why am I saying what am I saying? Why am I nodding? What's the source of that? And if we take a moment and wait before we say something, we might be more intentional in what we're saying and have it, yeah, in a sense, the intention of I'm saying what I'm saying because I want to empower my client or I want to um, uh, do whatever I want to do. Some of my clients who are not coaches, I'm not supervising them necessarily, they are perhaps therapists. I have some therapists, and I'm working with this one person who's a therapist, but we're working in a coaching relationship. And how she's listening and what she's saying as a person is not what she would be saying if she were with her client. So the way that she speaks to her partner is not how she would speak to a client. In a sense, she speaks quite often, on occasion, I'll say, to her partner, not with respect, but with disregard. And when we're disregarding an individual's perspective, an individual's individuality, then we are blaming or shaming them for who they are. So she isn't hearing herself speak when she's when she's talking to her partner. She's not listening to herself. She's just saying what she's saying, which feels to me very derogatory. And it's like, wow, she wouldn't say that to her client. And so that's an interesting thing to look at in terms of how am I with my clients? How respectful, with regards am I speaking and listening and respect and feeling encouraging and supporting them in their individuality? And how am I listening and or speaking in relation to my children or my friends or my partners, whoever that is? Quite often recently, I've been aware of when I was visiting my daughter this weekend, and we were in the car driving for a couple hours, and it was like I was about to say something, and then I said, "Why would you say that?" In a sense, it wasn't a positive statement. It wasn't going to support or empower anything. It was kind of a negative thought about somebody else. Like, why would I share that? Why would I speak it? And that gave me a moment to go, wow, is this really necessary? Is this necessary to say? Is this adding to our life together? Or is it somehow demeaning to us, her, I, or someone else? If it's demeaning to someone else, that's not what I want to have as part of my conversations with people. I'm looking at how can I eliminate all the negativity or as much negativity as I become aware of. So when we're with a client, or with ourselves, because this is really about how we be as a person influences how we be a better coach, always, always. So if you can see this in yourself, then you can become more aware of the choices that you make. Like, why am I saying what I'm saying? So as I've been coaching specifically as opposed to therapy, being a therapist or spiritual guide. I've been coaching for 24, 25 years. And in that, my speaking has changed from I want to show how smart I am. I want to be helpful by giving advice or giving wisdom. I want to let my client know that I'm really good at what I'm doing and I can really be helpful. So it my talking was to look good and to prove how smart I was. But over the years, I realized that that's not empowering my client to know their truth. It's not empowering my client to speak their own truth and to share their own truth. So I've learned over time how to speak less, in what I speak becomes more clear. And some of the people in my group coaching, which you'd welcome to come into if you were interested, they'll say, Rosie, you don't say a lot anymore. You nod a lot, but you don't say a lot. And it's like, wow, I don't talk. I don't have a need to talk so much and to tell people things. Sometimes I do, but I'm in that wait. Why am I talking? In a sense, what's my intention in speaking what I speak? And the more that you're asking yourself that question, I think the more that you become more effective because you're intentional about your sharing. So where I've gone with my clients, not so much with people I know because they don't want the coaching kind of questions. But for instance, my client had, this is kind of transitioning to something else, but just in terms of what I'm talking, why I am talking, my client today was sharing, this was the week after Thanksgiving, and she was sharing how peaceful and simple and contented she was through the holiday. And she's saying it's so different than how I was. And I said, so what shifted that allowed this to happen? Now, asking that question allowed her to consider how she's different, like what's shifting in her that's allowing for more simplicity, more contentment and peace. She's usually a person that's in angst and busy and sort of in it, as opposed to like relaxed and just enjoying her time with her people. And so by asking the question, what shifted that allowed this to happen? She did a lot more talking and she was able to really hear herself and really listen to what's true for her and speak her own truth. Quite often, it's helpful sometimes for us to uh, reframe or re-say what our clients are saying, which is really helpful to say, hey, yeah, I'm validating, I hear you, and I'm getting what you're saying. And sometimes it's really just necessary for our clients to speak what they're speaking. And so I asked the question, what did you notice that shifted? And she shared a bunch of stuff. And then I said, so what is it that you just heard yourself say that was different and shifted for you? So I just asked the question again so that and this is a part of our brain that we don't exercise very often. So it was very difficult. This woman is been in recovery for 40 years, I think, and she's been in therapy and all kinds of stuff. And still to say what's going on here in the process of being you, she was like, I don't know. She's kind of dumbfounded, as most of us are, because we're not used to talking about the experience, the direct experience of ourselves. Now, the reason I say this is because if my talking says, oh, here's why you had such a good week. Here's what you did. Here's how that was different. Now, and I can use that and it's useful, very useful sometimes. But I'm learning that if I just give my clients the room to say what's true for them and work it out for themselves, my not talking is far more valuable for them. And as I've shared myself to you as a thinking partner, as a thinking partner, I'm listening for how they are thinking, and I'm listening for how I can engage them in such a way that they're actually aware of what they're thinking and they're actually engaged intentionally in that thinking process. And for me to be a better coach, an effective coach, that's where this work is helping my clients think intentionally about what it is they're doing and what it is they're wanting and where they're going with this, and how on occasion they will not do that. They'll do something else. So this client, I'll call her Melody. Melody is like, I can do it when I can do it, and sometimes I can't. And it's like, excellent. She's articulating what's true for her. And I use a lot of expletives and superlatives. Excellent, wonderful, terrific, or yay. I think I mentioned the other day I did that with a client, like, yes, all right. And she goes, why are you celebrating? It's like, because you spoke something that was true for you. And the more we can engage and celebrate our clients in speaking what's truth, their truth, regardless, it can be, I don't like spinach. And I'll go, yes, because they spoke something that's true for them. You'll see as you grow yourself as a coach, the degree to which people are not speaking their truth. It's fascinating. So the quieter I am, in a sense, the more intentional I am with my speaking. Why am I talking? The more intentional I am in my talking, the greater benefit to my clients, but also with people that are important to me. Being with my daughter, I just really, uh, she just said how different I was this time with her, and that she really noticed how much I had changed. A lot of that was I didn't say all the stuff I used to say. I didn't engage in a way that was like, let me tell you how to do it better. Let me tell you how to do it different. Let me tell you what you need. Let me give you this advice. Let me give you, hey, I'm using this product. You should do all this talking that was based on, I want to be important. I want to be helpful. And I didn't do that stuff. And by not doing it, we had a lot more space for fun and enjoyment and fluidity and flow and connection, far different. So that's my first thing for today is wait. Why am I talking? This leads into number two, and I think I'll just stick with two today because it's kind of long with what we're talking about. But my coach a long time ago, Hans Phillips, trained me to be a coach. This was I think we started in 1999. Hans is a really brilliant, awesome individual, and every once in a while I'll connect with him in LinkedIn, and we were chatting about something, and then he used the phrase, be the work, be the work. And what most of us want to do with our coaching is, here's my profession, here's what I'm doing, here's my clients, here's how I am with my clients, and here's how I am the rest of my life. So with my clients, I can be loving and caring and really listening and really in that state of presence. And over here, much like I was talking about my other client, where there's a disregard, a disconnect, she's not listening, she's not appreciating, she's not validating, she's not acknowledging, she's not connected. She's in her stuff. And it's like, wow, that's what a lot of us do. And whether we're coaches or therapists or just people at work, sometimes we're really nice and caring at work, and we come home and we're grumpy or tired and, just want to hide out. It's like, how do we be our work? We want to be a coach. We want to support and empower people in their lives. How do we support and empower ourselves in the coaching relationship, but also not in a relationship and not in the coaching relationship? How do we be the work? And this is a question the answer is individual. Like, the way that I be the work is different than how you probably are going to be the work. But it's like, what's the intention of us being coaches in the first place? Why be a coach? And as I've said, some people just want to make the money. It's like, if you want to make the money, there may be easier ways of doing it, and ways that are less vulnerable. I think being a good coach, an effective, better coach means we let go of our shields, we let go of our armor, we let go of what isn't serving us in being engaged connection relation in relation to our clients. I'm doing a whole lot less and being far more effective as a coach. I'm saying a whole lot less and being far more effective because my state of presence and connection and engagement with where my client is and how they're thinking, how they're being in their life, far more present in that than I am in all the head stuff. So it's a fascinating dilemma. But for me, the best way to become a more effective coach is to notice and see how we're being with people around us. That might mean, in the grocery line or in the car as you're driving or parking the car, all the places that you are engaged with yourself, with your car or your groceries or with other people, with the holidays are coming up, the way that you're being with the holidays, all of this stuff is great opportunities to see who you are and be the work, be that which you're wanting for your clients, be that which you say you want for yourself. Last week I talked about a couple, and I called them Adam and Eve, and they want a more loving connection like they had before. And that was only a few years ago. It's not like it was never there or a long, long time ago. This is pretty frequent, and they have the connections on occasion, but there's something that's missing that could allow them to have this more engaged, loving connection. And in seeing how they're responding, it's like the reactive anger outbursts. It's almost like that becomes the most important part. I'm pissed off, and so I'm going to act from my pissed offness. And I say, what is it you got? You guys are hiring me. You've hired me, and you're paying the big bucks for bringing love to this relationship. And that has to be the ultimate thing. You have to be the work. You have to be the change. You can't just say, I want the love and remain in your survival strategies and your anger and your pissed offness. You have to actually engage in the work to bring about this another level of love, which is what they're paying me to support them to do. So they have to be the work. They have to be the work if they're going to make this work. And they have to put that commitment and be that dedicated to, we want the love and the connection. That has to come first. And as a coach, I have to hold that. I have to hold them accountable to that's what they're saying. That's what they're paying me to do. And I smile because it's like, it's a lot of work to do couples coaching because we're holding two people and their own individuality and their perceptions and bringing them into alignment with what they say they want. It's big work. And in doing that, it brings up stuff in me. And that means I have to be the work. I have to do the work that keeps showing up for me in my personal life and in my professional life. So be the work. And that comes back to wait. Why am I talking? And before that, the weeks before, we talked about what am I listening for? Where is that from? So we're always in the possibility of being the work. Your clients are always your teachers, always. They will bring stuff up that you didn't even know was an issue for you or a trigger for you. Because we're all human and 99% of what shows up in people is universal. We just see it in terms of bits or personalities. We see it in terms of this is the circumstance, and so this is why it showed up. But generally speaking, there's a universal process that's occurring for every single one of us. So your clients are going to be your teachers and bringing stuff up. And if you're wise enough and you're really dedicated to supporting your clients, you're going to work on your stuff. You'll be the work. And one of the things I keep offering to you is, hey, I train people, I supervise, I mentor. We have a great group for coaching. If you want some support, this is a place to get it. And I really encourage that. Your clients will trigger you. Your clients will bring stuff up that's challenging. And if you need some coaching around that, that's a good thing to know. If you're stuck or struggling, that's good to know. get some support. I'm here, but there's others that you can get support from. Just want you to know your clients are going to be your teachers. They're going to show and reflect and mirror to you stuff that you may not be looking for or looking at and not want to, but it's there. That's the dilemma. And again, you are 100% responsible. And this is why it's so important to see what shows up when you show up with your clients. It's like you're 100% responsible and accountable for what comes out of your mouth and how you listen. And over time, you learn to listen more clearly to what that is. At first, when if I heard this, I'd go, I don't know what you're talking about. But over time, I totally get that I am responsible for my listening with my clients. What am I listening for? What, as a thinking partner, what am I listening for? What's going to be valuable to listen for and what's not valuable? With Adam and Eve, they have kids. And so we're having a conversation about their relationship. And they keep wanting to talk about their kids and how they're relating to their kids. And I have to go, stop. This is not about your kids. This is about you too. And they go, yeah, but they're, and I go, stop. So what I'm listening for and how I'm speaking gets more and more clear. And that's what makes me an effective coach to the degree that I am and that I appreciate and love. And I can't wait to see what is growing in me and how I'm going to be expanding my coaching career as it is. So, that's it for today. If you have comments, I would love to hear them. A thumbs up would be great. Or if you want to share this with other people, please feel free to do that. If you're interested, you have questions or challenges you'd like me to speak to, there's a form below that says, hey, fill this out and let me know what's true. Or in the comments, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying. Let me know if you have any struggles or challenges that you'd like me to address in this video series. That would be great. And if you're interested in, I have a Mastering the Art of Transformational Coaching training. It's a course that's coming when we have enough people. There's a wait list there, so you can fill that in. Or if you want to contact me personally, my website is there, my email is there, my phone number is there. You can contact me and ask me a question or whatever you need. All right, that's it for now. Blessings to you. Be your work. Be your love. You are already. It's just a matter of bringing it into awareness and intention. All right, blessings to you. Bye for now.